Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be, Ocean Park family. We are on day number 2 of our 30-day Bible challenge and going through the Sermon on the Mount. And we're going to be focusing on Matthew chapter 5, verses 3 through 12. And today's, hopefully you've already read through the verses and the devotion, and we're going to kind of focus on verse number 10 in Matthew 5, because that's going to go along with the sermon this coming Sunday, and that is, blessed are those who are persecuted for the righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And as I have advertised previously, this Sunday is the International Day of Prayer for the Persecuted Church. So we will be praying and talking about the persecuted church, not only today, but a little bit throughout history. Persecution comes in all forms. As we know, it can be something as simple as somebody laughing or whispering at you when you walk into a room because they know you're a Christian, and they're just like, hey, look at that. There's that Christian person over there, that holy roller or whatever. And yeah, that's persecution, but it obviously, unfortunately, gets a lot worse. One writer described the persecutions that Christians have suffered this way. He said, quote, "All of the world knows of the Christians who were flung to the lions or burned at the stakes, but these were kindly deaths. Nero wrapped the Christians in pitch and set them alight, and used them as living torches to light his gardens. He sewed them into skins of wild animals and set his hunting dogs upon them to tear them to death. They were tortured on the rack. They were scraped with pincers. Molten lead was poured hissing upon them. Red-hot brass plates were affixed to the tenderest parts of their bodies. Their eyes were torn out. Parts of their bodies were cut off and roasted before their eyes. Their hands and feet were burned while cold water was poured over them to lengthen the agony. These things are not pleasant to think about, but these are things a man had to be prepared for if he took his stand with Christ." Now, can you imagine knowing things like that were happening to people, and then when somebody came up to you and told you about Jesus, that you accepted him and asked forgiveness and became a Christian anyway, knowing that this could happen to you? I mean, that's just amazing. And trust me, that's still happening today, sadly. So according to Fox's Book of Martyrs, the following men all suffered physical persecution: James, the son of Zebedee, who was the elder brother of John and relative of the Lord, was beheaded. It is said that on his way to be martyred, James's accusers was so impressed by his courage and conviction that he repented of his sin, professed himself to be a Christian, and was beheaded along with James. Now that's some serious witnessing by James, if that's true. Philip was scourged, thrown into prison, and afterwards crucified. Matthew was slain with a halberd, which is a sword-like weapon, in the city of Nabodath. Now, I'm not good with words, so sorry. James the Less, at the age of 94, was beat and stoned by the Jews, and finally had his brains dashed out with a fuller's club. Matthias was stoned at Jerusalem and then beheaded. Andrew, the brother of Peter, was crucified on a cross, the two ends of which were fixed transversely in the ground, hence the St. Andrew's cross. Mark was dragged to pieces by the people of Alexandria. Peter, it is thought, was crucified upside down at his own request because he did not feel worthy enough to be crucified in the same manner of his Lord. Paul was beheaded. Jude was crucified. Bartholomew was cruelly beaten and then crucified. Thomas was martyred by being thrust through with a spear. Luke, it is believed, was hanged on an olive tree. Simon was crucified. Barnabas was put to death around AD 73. None of these men were killed without warning. They knew the price that they were going to have to pay eventually for what they were doing. They didn't care, because they were doing it for the Lord. So my question to you is, what are you doing for the Lord in the face of what those people have done and people are still doing today? What are you doing? Are you stepping out in faith? Are you putting yourself on the line, your reputation or anything like that? What are you doing to further the kingdom of God? What is fear stopping you from doing? That's a bigger question. What is fear stopping you from doing? Take that fear to the Lord and work through that fear with Him and overcome it and follow the Lord's guidance for you to do His will to further His kingdom. Now, if this is the first video you've watched in the series, go back and watch the first one. Go to YouVersion and send me a friend request and sign up for the Sermon on the Mount Bible study. I can also, I think I can send it to you. I'm not sure. If you have trouble finding it, you should be able to see what because I have it marked as visible to friends, so you could see that I have what Bible studies I'm doing. So you should be able to just click on that and sign up for that and catch up. You're only a day behind, so easy to catch up. And if you're watching this on the day it's published, which is Sunday, well, I'll either see you in church shortly if you're watching it before church, or I hope I saw you in church today. And also today is our potluck get together, so hopefully you are joining us for that, because good food, good fellowship, and that's how we grow as a church body. Not just grow physically by eating good food, but grow spiritually by being together and fellowshipping with fellow believers. So thank you guys so much for watching. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.